Maria Garcia, the president of the North Texas Hispanic Republic of North Texas, will be speaking.
Thank you, Zach. Oh, that's yours. I'll give you on that one. My name is Maria Garcia, and I'm the founder and president of the Hispanic Republican Club of North Texas. Zach wanted me to come and speak a little bit about the club, what we are up to, and to clarify some speculations on why the club was started. Some people have said that it divides people, but I'll let you know why I started it. The club is a 501c3. We educate on values. I have an apostolic anointing, so I just want to let you know, because I speak a lot about God, and because He is the main part of why I started all this. I was led to get involved in politics about 3 years ago, and I felt in my spirit that I needed to start this club. Honestly, I had no experience in politics. The Lord kept me away from politics completely. And when I started coming into these meetings, I was literally like, I don't know, one of the few Latinas. And people would always say, hey, there's a Latina. And I was like, where? You know, and obviously. I literally felt like a zoo animal sometimes, but whatever. I didn't even have family here or anybody, so I could pretend and say, hey, let's bring some Latinos and make it look like we're doing something. No, I actually started with Maggie Witt. She's here. She's as white as they come. So, but we helped each other, and we were creating some groups. Anyway, the club was started. A lot of people said, well, you know, why do you want to divide people? And I said, I'm not. I said, the Lord is all about strategies. We are about strategies. The club was actually to let Latinos feel like, to get a foot in the door, right? Get them in and feel comfortable and feel like, well, there's a place for us. And because I know the Latino community, I know they're not going to just show up. If they don't feel welcome, they're not going to show up. So I wanted them to feel like there's a place for you here. And it was also symbolic. I wanted people to see the Republican Party has a Hispanic Republican Club. That means they're inclusive, right? It was symbolic. So it had nothing to do with separation. Once they were in the club, I wanted them to feel comfortable. I wanted them to learn the basics about politics and then branch out. Okay, so with that being said, what I feel like the Lord is doing here is, in Collin County, He is building a foundation of leaders, Hispanic leaders. And I am as Christian as they come. So the Lord does things very excellent, as you know. When He started this country, all the founding fathers were very Christian. They would take their Bibles to Congress and make law. It's the same kind of thing. When He brought me in, He was all about, you can't be starstruck, you can't get impressed. Not that He told me not to do that, that's just who I was. But He did that on purpose because He wanted to make sure that, I'm going to give you an example, an analogy or whatever. When God has His people building a church, you don't bring the people in without a building or preparing a preacher. You know, you have to have that in place first. It's a natural occurrence. That's why I don't understand why people are so surprised that we're here. We are the fastest demographic growing in Texas. 2025, it will be predominantly Hispanic. So why is this so weird and surprising? He's just doing things the way, you know, it was supposed to be. It's naturally progressing. So once He has His leaders in place, He will be bringing the people, we'll have a place to receive them. A lot of people say to me, well, you guys are here now, we don't need to be here. We are old Anglos or whatever. I said, no, we need your knowledge. You've been working for years. We need you to teach us, help us, to make sure that we keep America the way it was intended to be. So what we're doing, what I mean with the foundation is that we have some leaders that are that I'm preparing for leadership. We have candidates. They're preparing to be going into their own areas where I feel like they're going to be changing things. And we also have the workers, the ones that just go out and they just want to volunteer. So I know he gave me only 10 minutes, so I'm going to get going. What we're doing to reach the Hispanic community with our message is very, very simple. I know a lot of people say, well, the Republican Party is not doing well with the messaging. Well, it's not just the responsibility of we are the Republican Party. I mean, how are they going to know how to reach the Hispanic community? They're not Hispanic. But we do need their knowledge, like I said. So working with think tanks and other people that know what's going on, we get educated, then we translate what we want to basically tell the Hispanic community, but we do it in simple terms. We make it, we strategize, and we target the demographic that we're trying to reach. I was telling one of my board members the other day, she said, you know, why are you wanting to target the marginalized areas? And I said, well, because think about this. When someone is uncomfortable and someone is in pain, they're more likely to want to change, right? If they're struggling to pay their bills, if they feel like they're about to get kicked out of their home because of the high property taxes, and you tell them, we want to offer you a solution, we want to offer you a way out by voting for a conservative person, they're going to be more willing to change compared to someone that's in the middle class that are comfortable. So that's why I'm targeting that low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of that we can do. We just don't have a lot of the workforce. But like I said, it's a slow process. It takes time to build leaders. If you want to do it right, it takes a little bit of time. God is in control. So if there's a takeaway you can take away from this, He's in control. And He has us working, but we have to do it right. Anything that goes too fast up, it's going to come down quickly. So we are doing what we need to do. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can... Do we have time for questions?
Yeah.
Ask me any question that you may have if you're curious, and I'll answer.
What's your greatest need right now, you think?
I guess it would be people that are willing to go out and block walk. We're finally getting more volunteers, but because of the coronavirus, some of our best volunteers, basically, they were like, I can't do it. Either they have a family member, someone that they feel like they could be in danger. So it's workforce. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a website, and how can we donate money to your organization? Because every organization needs funding.
Absolutely. We do have a website. I can give it to you in a minute, but and you can also reach out to me directly. And yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
What's your event for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is this month?
Oh, thank you for asking. So I had a meeting with the RPT chair, Alan West, and he said, you know, the Hispanic community contributes to America so much by, you know, serving in the armed forces. He said, and they're the most decorated soldiers. Why is anybody not celebrating that? I said, you know, it's so funny. I said, I had a speaker that spoke about that in the past, and you're right. You're absolutely right. I said, and being the Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up, I said, I think we need to do it. So we decided that we were going to honor them. And one of our board members said, well, why don't we put it in writing? So we are going to have the RPT actually signed a letter, kind of like a proclamation a little bit, to honor them, and it will be hanging in our Collin County GOP office. So we're literally making history here, and 2020 was definitely, it's a change. There's a lot of stuff coming, and we just have to stay faithful and keep working. Go ahead.
When you knock on the doors and you talk to your constituents, what are you hearing from them as either from a resistance standpoint, resistant to change, or, you know, the other side, what is the change that they're wanting?
So it just depends where you go. Like when I block walk in Dallas, like I said, the marginalized areas, they want more security. The crime is rampant, and there's a lot of drugs being dealt there, sexual abuse and stuff like that, and property taxes. They want that. Because like I said, they can't really care about, a lot of people say, well, you know, pitch abortion. They don't care about abortion when they can't even pay their bills and they're just trying to survive. So I said a better way, if you want to get to them, is say, did you know that you're paying for abortions with your taxes, or that the Democrats are, you know, trying to do these policies to do that? Then you get to them. Then they're like, oh my gosh, that's my money. For example, the Green New Deal, right? Like messaging, again. If they say, did you know the Green New Deal's coming? They're like, well, it's the environment, it's something good. Because they don't have the time, a lot of them, to look into it. But then if you put it in simple terms and say, did you know that your electricity bill might go up by $3,000 a year? Did you know that? Do you care about it now? Trust me, they're going to be running to vote the other way. So that's what we need to be doing, is the messaging needs to be targeted directly to the demographic that you're trying to reach. Is that it? Yes.
What about the education? Are they enrolling their kids in the school?
What's that?
Are they enrolling their kids at the school? For the school?
In the school?
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely care about education. Now, if you go more into the, you know, like I said, most of them care about it. Obviously, they don't want to be stuck in these horrible schools. But again, some of them don't know that they have a choice.
Wow.
So we got to get and talk to them. A lot of the people also that I spoke with, they said they didn't even know there was fake news. They were like, there's fake news? Like what? So there's a lot of low-hanging fruit. We need to show up. Somebody said to me, you're the first conservative I've seen in years. And so some of the Democrats won't even go block walk, some of the candidates, because they said, well, they're Hispanic, they're gonna vote for me. And I told them that, and they're like, she got another thing coming. So, so that's what we're doing. Oh, anybody else? Go ahead.
So as I understand the Hispanic culture, their moral values are much more in line in general with the Republican Party than the Democratic Party. Is that a big selling point, not a selling point, but a big message that we are missing? Or why are the Democrats, I think, by and large, just take things for granted and exploit people?
Well, yes,
as opposed to
but
engaging
nobody's talking to them, so they listen to the fake news all day long. That's all they listen to. Before I got involved in politics, I believe it happened on purpose by the Lord. I'm the typical Hispanic first-generation Mexican that grew up. I was 9 years old. I came from Mexico, 9 years old, worked in the field till I was 18, and then I became a wildfires firefighter. I heard the fake news on Univision my whole life. Mm-hmm. And again, I didn't hear anything but the Democratic side. And it's funny because I was like, you know, I would watch the news and they're like, Donald Trump is doing this, Hillary. I remember that election specifically. And then I thought, well, I mean, I didn't really think much of it. Same thing with Barack Obama. And then when they actually fined me $1,000 for not paying, I had to pay $1,000 for not having insurance. I was like, why didn't anybody tell me this? So this is what I'm talking about. Nobody's talking to them. We just need to talk to them.
Okay.
Education.
Yep, and that's what we're doing.